what's happening out there on YouTube. Hey, I got some stuff on paper terrorism today, and like to break free those wheels in your mind to get a little understanding. This is the definition from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Yeah, and anyone can pretty much go in and put their definition or whatever they want to write in that. I know that, I'm aware of that. But here we go. Paper terrorism is a neologism to refer to the use of false liens, frivolous lawsuits, bogus letters of credit, and other legal documents lacking sound factual basis as a method of harassment. Doesn't that sound like what's happening to you when you get those speeding tickets? You weren't really speeding, or you get those bogus things that are filed against you, and a campaign has been created to attack men and women. The rest of it is especially against government officials. So they're crying because people are they see it a little different than the government officials. You know, the people that are the abusers never see really what's going on. They just say everyone's crazy. And I'll probably be crazy in a mental institution before all this is over. These methods are popular among some anti-government groups. Well, let's just make it clear and official right now. I'm not against any government groups or officials. I'm against the men and women that take it upon themselves to violate rights of others and men and women, and to do things that are outside the scope of their jobs or their positions or their oaths. How you like that? So at no time can you ever assume that I'm against them. I'm just not. I'm against the men and women that do it to the men and women, period. You know, and then it says some victims of paper terrorism have been forced to declare bankruptcy. Well, let me tell you about my friends and fellow men and women. I find that their whole lives are ruined by these people that are paper terrorism. They're doing paper terrorism. Their credit's ruined. They lose their property. They steal their property without just cause. They make them homeless, and then they charge them to see the doctor in jail. They charge them money, and they have to fill out paperwork to see the doctor or the nurse to get anything, to if they're injured or they're sick. That's terrorism. An article by the Southern Poverty Law Center states that another tactic is filing reports, and IRS falsely assumed they're political enemies and having unreported income. Such frivolous lawsuits can clog the court system, making it more difficult to process cases, including challenges in titles of property owned by government officials and others. Another method of terrorism is bankruptcy petitions against others in effort to ruin their credit ratings. You mean like it's done by the system every day to us normal, typical men and women that don't break the law, that don't do anything wrong, and they're crying. You know, in the late 1990s, in the 90s, the Republic of Texas, a militia group claiming that Texas was legally independent, carrying out what is so-called a campaign of paper terrorism using bogus and land claims and bad checks to congest Texas court. Yes, that's wrong. That's wrong. You know, if you're organizing to be against government just because they're government, you know, that's not right. If a man or a woman took it upon themselves to do things to you and cause you a loss or a harm, then you should be allowed to do it. I don't think it's saying, you know, really everybody's a paper terrorist, and maybe they are, you know, maybe that they're a paper terrorist, but it seems to me that it's all written in the view of a government official or written in the view of the government, because they don't talk about men and women that do these things that are corrupt. They just say that if you do it to them, then you're corrupt automatically. And that's just not right. Anybody with any common sense. Paper terrorism refers to the use of false liens, frivolous lawsuits, bogus letters of credit. Well, why doesn't it say, legal claims or criminal charges? Because they do false criminal charges all the time. And they're making money from these documents that are put in, that you put in, or that they put in. They monetize those documents. Make no mistake. It says, and underground legal documents to harass others, especially against government officials. Well, so why is it especially against government officials? Why isn't it especially against the normal man? They're doing it. They're writing it in their version, like they're the helpless victim. Well, if you do something wrong and you're doing something to a man or a woman, these things should happen. There should be an avenue or a way to regress your grievance or to get satisfaction from the wrong that's been done to you. I mean, that's common sense. It says, it is the filing and sending of false documents to intimidate police, government officials. That's absolutely true. But what about when those officials do it to private men and women? I'm just saying. This is all on paper terrorism. We'll talk to you soon.